Bitcoin was pretty much going to have to decide what to do. That was Friday, it made the choice. The major pivot support stayed in place, popped, stopped, and then went up here. Now we crushed it in smart money crypto. We went far, we went long at this point. What do we have? You name it, Cardano, Avalanche, Link, and more. At that level, we were going long because it was technological help. That was a long way. These altcoins had gone back up to a big support level. Now I've taken a lot of those gains and I'm even starting to look at a few shorts. We'll keep swing trading and making money with members of that service. That's pretty cool. Thank everyone who put their trust in us. The best part is that it's free and we read all of them. If you sign up now, you'll get all the new information for free. Stay ahead of the trends instead of just following them. Sign up for Bitcoin Bubble right now and enjoy the new edge. Let's talk about these things and more in this film. Let's look at the Bitcoin picture when we get to it. We know that the formal pivot line, which is this line that goes up and down and makes a point, held. We got the bounce. The question now is whether the stock market can keep going up. You may have seen that the stock market is down today. Also, Bitcoin is losing some of its gains and is now back to a flat line. Now here's the deal, as long as we stay above the pivot line, your upside could reach 68,000. But if you prove that you're below the pivot line, you'll be going down quickly. Be very careful. If Bitcoin sees any kind of daily close with proof, it's time to sell right away because it could go all the way down to around 50,000. Since we have some time today, I'll quickly talk about Ethereum. Let us look at Ethereum. We have a lot of the same things on Ethereum. You can see that we went straight into technical support by making this shift low and connecting here to here to here. It hit and it bounced a little, but this is beginning to look a bit bearish, right? Making a little of a bear flag, and I'm still in the camp. I know that Ethereum bulls don't want to hear this, but I still think we have one more dump that will bring us down until I reach $2,000, at which point I will begin to load the boat on Ethereum. The next thing we should do is quickly look at gold today and see what it will do. Gold is just cutting to the side. I will also account for gold. The fact that the dollar is in such a strong run on the daily chart of the DXY shows how strong this run is. For gold not to have had a bigger drop, that's very rare. This could be the start of a bullish consolidation. Let's keep an eye on it. The CPI report comes out on Wednesday. That should be a big reason for gold to either go up or down. So pay close attention to that. But look at the trend line again while we're here. We can switch to our monthly scale if we go to our logarithmic scale. This is why I called it resistance for those of you who are new to watching. We are right on that level of that beautiful trend line. Okay, next let's quickly take a look at silver. We'll drag it back to our main map and look at what we have. And let's take a look at silver. Please wait while I type it in. Hey everyone, silver is still in a spot where I think it will pull back a bit at some point, maybe back to the scene of the crime. But for that to happen, there needs to be a bad economic news. It seems like there must be something out there that makes people want to get away from rare metals like silver. You could also say it's a store of safety metal, which is partly true, but it's also becoming more and more of an industrial metal on silver, right? That could be the cause of Bitcoin, right? Maybe Bitcoin and gold and Bitcoin are the two safest places to store money, and silver gets pushed out of the way. It's likely that a lot of people would argue with that, but I'm just making what might happen happen. In either case, keep an eye out for that $30 cut to find a good time to buy silver. Finally, guys, we've already talked about oil, so let's move on to natural gas. You all know I was short this. I love the slowdown on Friday, it was great. In fact, all of our short bets on natural gas were right on the money. We're getting a little bounce now. Is this really what you want? If you agree with me, then we need a break at this level of 292 to 293. That breaks. You are now talking about a bigger drop, but it's getting a little bounce today again. Up here, resistance is still between 319 and 320, but today is a great day for natural gas to turn around. Okay, everyone. And finally, while everyone else is watching the Middle East, we're watching the Middle East. We're watching the storm in the Gulf that is coming straight at us. Then, on Wednesday and Friday, we'll also be looking at the CPI and earnings numbers. Friday isn't really a tech day. We have Netflix next week. But on Friday, JP Morgan, BlackRock and Wells Fargo will all report earnings, which is the official start of earnings season. Remember, for those of you who have tuned in and you're ready to tune in, you're probably wondering what are some trading levels for the day. As soon as earnings season starts up again, I'll have a lot of chances to talk about the day's most important earnings news and where we can buy and sell during the day. Okay, this week Bitcoin tries to reach new highs, but it will be hard because of worries about gains driven by debt and changes in the economy as a whole. Analysts are worried that Bitcoin's current rise is due to bets made with borrowed money, which could end quickly. The price of Bitcoin is trying the $64,000 mark. If it fails to go above that, it could drop back to $56,000 or even less. A drop of $6 billion in the realized cap for long-term holders means that they are locking in profits. This week, US economic data such as the CPI and PPI numbers will have a big effect on the price of Bitcoin. Even though Bitcoin is volatile, some traders think it will rise as the month ends, following the trend that started in October. Bitcoin is having trouble with both technology and the economy. How the market responds to debt and big picture economic data will be very important in figuring out what it should do next. Guys, this is the market as it was at the end of the day on Friday, right? As you can see, it's 4 in the morning. We went down, then back up, but we're still net negative, right? So you can see that the market is net negative in this pre-market, going into the open, and once more, we're just under 30 minutes away. Most people would say that it's probably just tensions rising in the Middle East and not a big threat. Since Israel hasn't attacked Iran yet, that's probably not the main reason why the markets are losing some of the ground they gained on Friday. Based on what I know, the 10-year yield is moving towards or touching that 4% mark, right? We were down a huge amount on the 10-year yield. And now we've seen a huge move up that takes us back to where the crime broke out. Let's look at that chart right now. Let's see what we have. Guys, let's look at this when we talk about the 10-year return. Wow, this is pretty cool. Take a look. The yield on the 10-year note is now over 4%. If you look at the daily chart, you can see that I drew this arrow last week to show that we broke out of this parallel channel that was going down. That told us there was more good news ahead. We might go up as much as 4.3% before going back down to this trend line. Also, if the 10-year bond got to this level, it would be possible to sell. Keep in mind though that the markets are still hooked on low-cost money. Everyone has always said that. They told us to go back to that point. We need the money for nothing. Do you agree that we need the drugs? The addict needs drugs. And that is also getting harder and harder to find. Because the economy is so strong, it doesn't look like interest rates will go back down to 2% or less. Within 24 hours, the number of people selling Bitcoin went up by 354%. This was mostly because of an imbalance in long positions, which meant that bullish buyers lost a lot of money. Bullish investors were taken off guard by the market change, as shown by the heavy $3.76 million coming from long positions. Even though there was a positive push above $62,000, Bitcoin quickly saw a string of red bars, which caused a wave of sales. The tug of war between bulls and bears has kept Bitcoin